Hello and welcome to season 3, episode 64 of Brody Sports Talk. It is our Saturday Pigskin Picks episode. I'm so excited to make these picks against the spread and avenge my offer from the calendar last week. It was not pretty. I picked the Cardinals -4.5 and the Rams -4, and they both won, but they both didn't score quite enough to cover. Uh, it was not a pretty week for me. And if you want to pick against me because you know that I'm going to get all the picks wrong, you can do that on our Perfect Picks app where we have a group. The group, find us, it is 3-2, B is in Bravo, 9-2. Sean was in first after week one,
Not so much anymore.
but now I am in the only one of the Brodies that is on the podium as I am in third. Kudos to Adam Robinson and Jules. I'm probably going to butcher this last name, Stakura, for being ahead of me on perfect picks. Uh, Jules put up a nice 57 pointer this last week, which, if you haven't played, it's 0 to 100, and it is no one ever gets 100. So 40s is good. I feel good about my average of 40 after 2 weeks. Sean is a couple spots behind and trying to catch me. And Eric Neal from Two Rash Challenges, you're behind both of us. So you're used to being behind me though, because I'm usually beating you in the Two Rash Challenges League. So I'm going to continue to try to be ahead of you, Eric. If you do like soccer, of course, check out Gunners and Blues. Two Rash Challenges is also a fun soccer podcast. If for some reason you don't like Arsenal or Chelsea, I personally recommend Gunners and Blues, and not only because my co-host Sean
Is sitting there
would be
staring
there.
at you, waiting for you to, like, yeah, come on, come on, come on. What are you gonna say?
So yeah, Gunners and Blues. It follows the same format as us. So
It
if you want to
does.
listen to like an hour's worth of podcasts Monday through Friday, you can find we both are putting episodes
Mhm.
out quite regularly. So definitely subscribe to us both. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree.
So Sean, how were your picks this past week? Were yours okay, or were you also struggling with the donut like I was?
Yeah, you know what? I went with the Seahawks -5.5 and the Eagles +3.5. Did not pan out the way I would have liked. Red zone struggles for the Eagles kind of did them in, and then the Seahawks basically that was looking good. It was like a really good pick for a while, and then suddenly Derrick Henry decided to simply be, and that was the end all be all for that pick.
That's fair.
Hey,
And
Derek had a 2-0 week though.
that's true. Derek had a much better week. He hit on Broncos -6 against the Jaguars and the Raiders +5.5, which I think we both kind of were like, yeah, I don't know that I see that one, Derek. They pulled the upset and won by like 11 over the Steelers. So,
Uh,
Derek, don't mess with Derek when it comes to the AFC West. He knows
Nostra
what he's talking
Derek.
about.
Nostra Derek right there.
So let's go ahead and let's get his first pick out of the way this week. I know he is not currently recording with us, but he has the Cardinals -7.5. They are on the road facing the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, he took the Broncos against the Jaguars. I think that the trend of pick against the Jags is probably a one that I think Derek is not the only person who is
That
taking that among.
that that urban experiment is not working.
It might be if you're USC, despite the fact that Urban is claiming he is not going to go anywhere. I'm with Derek though. The way that the Cardinals' offense has looked and the way that the Jaguars' offense has not looked good, I think that the Cardinals covering that 7.5. If I were picking one way, I'm definitely taking the Cardinals as well. What about you, Sean?
No, I agree. When I like looking at the picks, like the different spreads, that would be the first one I would take off the board. So it doesn't surprise me that that was the first one that was grabbed.
Well, Sean, which one are you going to take as your first selection?
So I am going to go with the Eagles +4. So I think that our red zone issues were a bit of an aberration and not necessarily as much of a cause for concern. Sirianni's play calling is much more aggressive than I think a lot of people expected, and things just didn't really pan out the way that I was hoping for, especially with some of the great field position we would get. I think this is going to be a very high scoring game, and I do think that it's going to be decided by less than 4 points. So I'm not saying that we win, but I'm saying that it's going to be decided by less than 4 points.
I'll go out on a limb. I'll say the Eagles win. I think that the Eagles are going to get the win in Dallas, and I think that it is low scoring mainly for Dallas. I think that the Eagles are going to be able to put up some
We've
points.
looked good defensively. We've looked really good defensively, and I think that's, we've had some issues. I think early on with the run, especially against the Falcons, it looked like they were able to establish some stuff, but we've been really good in the red zone, and I think that that stands for a lot.
Also, I feel like between Philly and Dallas, Philly usually gets the wins in Dallas, and Dallas somehow gets wins in Philly.
I don't know how
And it's just this
that's
weird
it's
dichotomy
just
of no one cares about home field because you see each other too much.
yeah.
And I'm taking the Eagles to pull the upset for you.
I like it.
Uh, let's go ahead and go with who do I have here first? Oh yes, I'm going to pick against probably everything that I would have said preseason. If I would have seen this line in the preseason, I would have said, "What the heck? I'm taking the other side." But with Tua's day to day, so he could come back. But when you just got shut out 35 to nothing by the Bills, I think the Raiders -4 when they have just beaten the Ravens and the Steelers, who I think are both better teams than the Dolphins. Plus, I feel like that Allegiant Stadium atmosphere was really cool, and they're going to be back in Vegas. I think that this is a easy 4 point spread for the Raiders to cover. I know that I took favorites last week and they didn't score enough to cover. However, I think that this one is going to be fairly sizable. I'm going to say something in the neighborhood of Raiders 31, Dolphins 17. I just don't see a lot happening, and I think that they might not play Tua this week because they want to at least make sure that he's good enough for the following week.
I think
Sean, what
it's
do you think about that one?
I think it's fair. Again, you were, by the time I picked, those were already off the board, so that would have been another one I would have definitely gone with.
Well, let's go back to the well that Derek has here. And second up for him went with another favorite. He went Steelers -4.5 against the Bengals. Sean, do you want to support that pick? I'm not sure that I'm 100% on that line. I want to hear your thoughts.
I think the Bengals are going to struggle to get the run game going. I mean, it's a Burrows looked up and down. The Steelers' defense is opportunistic. I have a feeling it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I could very well see it being decided by 3 points. So I can see why I don't think that this is a I don't know. That's not that really big of a line. 4.5. I'm fine with it. I think the Steelers cover.
I'm going to go ahead and say the Bengals cover. They've played in some close games. They played within, well, they played overtime against the Vikings and won it on a game winner there. Then they lost by a field goal against the Bears. And I think there's some question marks if Big Ben's actually going to be able to start this game.
Is there? I
So
didn't know that.
I think they said that he has a partially torn pec. Let me
Ooh, that hurts.
let me quick search on the fly as we're discussing this. As searching, unfortunately, you cannot just search Big Ben to figure out whether or not he is injured or not. Yes, Tomlin said that Ben Roethlisberger has a pectoral injury and it will affect his participation, and he might miss practice all week and could still suit up. If he can't, Rudolph will get the start. So
Kind of changes my thoughts a little bit.
I think that may have come out later in the day too. So I'm not sure if Derek saw that. It might have impacted his thinking, even though I know he is the cowboy of the podcast, the Oklahoma State cowboy, that is. Mason Rudolph was far better in black and orange, America's Brightest Orange, that is, than he was in that black and yellow. On what do you have up on the docket second for you this week?
So to make it full deja vu, I am going with the Seahawks minus 1.5 against the Vikings on the road. This Vikings secondary, it ain't great. It ain't. I think Russell Wilson has a big game. I think Tyler Lockett has a big game. I think DK Metcalf has a big game. I do think it's going to be high scoring, but I have a feeling that the Seahawks do just enough additionally, and I mean 1.5, point spreads just basically means pick the winner. And unless you get really unlucky and then you have like those 1 point wins, but I'm basically taking the Seahawks to win this game on the road. I still think that they are one of the best teams in the NFL. When I say best, I mean like I do feel like they're a top 10 team, and I think they show it here.
I can see where you're coming from. I think that Seattle is the better team, and they should be walking out of US Bank Stadium with a win. And I think that it is probably going to be fairly close. Um, but I think that it's maybe, I'll say 3 points. I think 3 points feels about right to me, with Minnesota either missing a kick to go to overtime or Seattle making one to close the game. Minnesota apparently struggling with kicks. That's the trend this year.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Everyone.
Everyone ever.
Oh, sorry, Minnesota fans.
Are you?
And Travis, if you're
Are
listening.
you? Are you sorry?
I mean, I'm not upset that they're 0-2. I may feel bad for how they got to 0-2. Um, I have a heart, even if sometimes it may feel like it's three sizes too small. Um, like that was a great Grinch reference, Sean.
It was. It was good. It was good. I'm. I will concede it.
My last pick of the week is I'm taking the Washington football team on the road in Buffalo +9 against the Bills. Don't feel like I know enough about the Bills to put this game as away as they have. I know that Heineke is a backup quarterback. I know that the Bills have a good offense. I don't know that Washington's defense is as good as everyone thought it was. But I do think that this stays a close game. I watched through a lot of the highlights week to week because I didn't get the Bills Dolphins game broadcast here. But Josh Allen did not look good. It was not like a effectively played game and they just kept driving the ball down the field and scoring. Like they turned the ball over, they made mistakes. Granted, the Dolphins have a good defense too. I think that there's enough weapons on the football team offense to be able to stay within a touchdown. And even if they don't stay within it for most of the game, they only have to be within 9 at the end of the game. I mean, maybe we talked about it a little on Fantasy Friday. Maybe there's like a scary Terry touchdown grab that puts them from being down like 15 to being down 8 late in the game. And I would be okay with that. I think Washington football team +9 is nine's just a lot. I think that they're not that bad. I know many people may disagree with me, but I've been riding that train and I'm going to stick with it for right now. Sean, are you on the football team +9 or Bills -9?
I actually think that Washington does cover. I'm +9. I feel like the Bills. You're right. They didn't even the 35-0 score was actually surprisingly closer than it looked. They held them scoreless. The Bills did not look like world beaters, and so I think this is a game for Allen to show and that offense to show that they're not regressing at all. And until I see it happen, it's hard to predict otherwise. And Heineke looked okay, right? He actually looked not that bad. So I think they do keep it closer than 9. I see like a game decided by a touchdown. Like by a touchdown feels pretty good. Maybe I don't know, maybe a 27-20 type thing, or even lower scoring than that, like a 24 to 17, 20, maybe even like 24 to 16.
Yeah, I think if this line was 6 or 6.5, I wouldn't touch it, but
Yep.
9 feels like it's too far.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's it for our picks this week. Thank you for listening to us. We appreciate your support. If you like us, share us with a friend. Give us a 5-star review wherever you can listen to your podcasts. Subscribe. If you want to be really fun, go get yourself some Brody merch. You can get some stickers, put them all over the place.
Get a mug.
Uh,
Get a
get
mug.
a mug. I mean, it's pumpkin spice season,
Yeah.
so get yourself a Brody Sports Talk mug and drink some PSLs because that's what we do here at Brody Sports Talk. And you can find our merch and all of our various things in our link tree, linktr.ee/Brody Talk. And on behalf of Sean, my name's Caleb Walgren. Thank you for listening. We are signing out.
Bye, everybody.